Now we are going to work on this flap here and this section right here. So this is the part that goes up and down and side to side. Okay, so we will need to start with some cardstock. Let's clean this up a little bit here. Get rid of all these pieces. My husband makes fun of me saying he knows that I'm in the zone if my craft room is in absolute chaos, which is probably true. Okay, so we are needing a piece of cardstock measuring 6 3/4 by 8, and then you're going to score it at half on the 6 3/4 side. Okay, so down here, and then we're going to fold that score line, and then we need to cut 2 pieces. Okay, so we need to score at a 1/2 inch on a piece of 4.5 by 6.5 inch cardstock. So you need 2 of those, 4.5 by 6.5. Okay, and we're scoring on the short side. So these are the ones that are going to go side to side. Okay, and then we also need 2 pieces of cardstock measuring 6 by 5, and you're scoring a 1/2 inch on the 5 inch side. So put the shorter side and then score at a 1/2 inch. Okay, so now that we've got those, we need to put score tape on the 1/2 inch part on each of these. So let's do that. Burnish each of those, kind of burnishing the fold and the score tape at the same time. Okay, so now let's adhere those 4 onto our piece. Now your 1/2 inch is going to be on your left hand side, and we're going to adhere the top and the bottom. Oh, and just to make it a little bit neater, we're going to miter the corners of each of these, going just to your score line. So from the score line, just a little bit. Okay, so we'll put this one at the top, lining it up as best as you can. And then we'll do the other one at the bottom. Okay, and then we'll open those up and we'll do the 2 that go to the sides. And these ones overlap just slightly, so you'll want to open that up first before you adhere this one. Alright, so there is that part. And now you're going to put some score tape on this 1/2 inch here, and then we will adhere it to our base, our covers. Normally it would be adhering it to an actual page, but since we're doing a folio that doesn't have any pages, everything's going directly on here. Alright, so flip that up. Take off your score tape and adhere this to the side. And you want to kind of match it to where this lines up, so kind of eyeball it, line it up with the top part, and you're going to leave a little bit of a gap over here. So I like to leave about 1/4 of an inch of my cover over here, so it's not right up to the edge of your cover. Alright, so that is that part, and now let's just see how many magnets we had in here. Do we have any magnets in here? Nope. Okay. So just one on this part. Okay, so now we will do this little flap. So it measures, where is it? So it measures 10 by 4.5. And then you're going to score it at on the 4.5. Is that right? The 4.5 side? Yeah. Or no, so I guess it would be on the 10-inch side. So you'll be scoring it, setting it here, scoring it at 1/2 inch. So on the 10-inch side, 1/2 inch, and then 5/8 of an inch. Okay, so just the next little tick over. Because again, we're wanting to create just a small gusset, just because it is going over quite a bit of bulk. So you want it to be able to fold over everything properly. Okay, so just a small gusset. Then you're going to burnish those. Then you're going to put score tape just on the 1/2 inch. Don't, make sure it doesn't go over into your gusset. So just on this 1/2 inch. Again, miter your corners. And then we can attach this part. So lift that up. And you're going to kind of want to just eyeball it. You're putting it, you know, again, trying to line it up with the edge of this part up here that you've adhered already. Okay, so it's about center. Yeah, looks pretty good. All right, so we are going to put a magnet on this flap, so that's what's going to hold all of this down. So just put a magnet on there. Got its counterpart on there, so now we're going to flip this over. Alright, so there we have, so the magnet landed there. Just make sure that it lands not, this is about as close to the edge as you're going to want it, because you want to make sure that your pattern paper is going to cover it. Okay, so done with that part, and now the next part. The next part we'll be doing is this flap that has the swing tab here. So it opens like that, and then opens again. So we're going to create this flap here. So we need one piece of cardstock that measures 8 inches by 11 inches, and then we're going to score it at 3 1/4 and 7 3/8. Okay, so put it on the 11-inch side, score it at 3 1/4, and then 7 3/8. 7 3/8 of an inch. So just one tick past the 1/4 inch mark. Okay, and then we're going to fold on our score lines. Okay. So in the book it sits like this and opens and opens, And then to get it to open this way, we need to put a hinge. So cut an 8 by 1 inch piece of cardstock, score it right down the middle, fold it, and then we'll be putting score tape on each side. Okay. Okay, score tape on each side of that. Okay, again, burnish. And miter the edges slightly. Okay, so we'll stick one half of this is going to go onto our cover, and the other half, so you've got two flaps, one slightly wider than the other, so the wider one is going to go on top. I mean, I guess alternatively you could do it the other way, but the way I have it is with the wider one on top. You're going to stick, this is the opening is here, okay? So you're going to stick this right on the back, okay? So you have your wide opening here, flip it over, line it up right to the edge. And now your other half of this, peel off the score tape, your other half is going to go directly onto your covers. Okay, so making sure that we don't go over our little tiny gusset that we have. We've got that 1/8 of an inch gusset right here, so making sure we don't go over top of that. Okay, so now we've got this opening like this, and then that comes over top, and that comes over top of that. Alright, so the only other thing left is to put a pocket, but we want to put our pattern paper on before we put the pocket on.